I used to think resealing my RV roof was just part of the lifestyle, like changing oil or dumping tanks. Annoying, messy, unavoidable. Every year, sometimes twice a year, I'd climb up there with a bucket, brushes, and hope, telling myself this time it'll last. And if you've ever done it, you already know how that goes. Cracks come back, edges peel, tiny leaks show up where you swear there were none before. It felt like I was trapped in an endless loop of maintenance that never actually solved the problem. But then I stopped resealing my RV roof completely, and what I did instead fixed everything. Before I explain what changed, take a second and hit subscribe. Because if you're living the RV life or thinking about it, this one decision can save you years of frustration, thousands of dollars, and a whole lot of anxiety every time it rains. For a long time, I believed leaks were just inevitable. RV roofs flex, expand, contract, bake in the sun, freeze in winter. Sealant doesn't stand a chance, right? That's what everyone says. Forums are full of people showing cracked, lapsed sealant, warning you to stay on top of it or else water will destroy your rig. So I stayed on top of it, religiously. I inspected seams, vents, skylights, antennas. I patched tiny cracks before they became visible problems. I did everything right, and yet every year there was always something new. Another spot. Another soft area. Another stain that made my stomach drop. It started to feel less like maintenance and more like fighting entropy with a caulk gun. What finally pushed me over the edge wasn't even a big leak. It was a small one, almost invisible, a faint discoloration near a ceiling corner, barely noticeable. But I knew what it meant. Water doesn't forgive. It doesn't announce itself loudly. It seeps, slowly, quietly, ruining insulation, wood, wiring, and your peace of mind. I remember standing there, thinking I did everything I was supposed to do. Why am I still dealing with this? That's when I realized the problem wasn't that I wasn't resealing enough. The problem was that resealing itself was the wrong strategy. Here's the truth nobody tells you up front. Resealing an RV roof over and over is a temporary solution pretending to be a permanent one. Sealants are reactive. You apply them after cracks appear, after UV damage starts, after movement has already stressed the seams. You're always behind, always chasing the next failure point. And the more layers you add, the messier and less reliable it becomes. Old sealant doesn't always bond well with new sealant. Dirt gets trapped. Moisture gets sealed in. What starts as preventive maintenance slowly becomes a fragile patchwork. Roof you're afraid to touch, so I stopped. Not all at once. At first I just paused. I cleaned the roof thoroughly. I removed loose, failing sealant instead of covering it. I inspected everything carefully, not with panic, but with curiosity. I asked a different question. Instead of how do I reseal this again, I asked why does this keep failing in the first place? And that's when the answer became obvious. The roof wasn't failing because I wasn't sealing enough. It was failing because the roof system itself was exposed. What I did instead was stop relying on spot fixes and switch to a continuous, protective barrier. Rather than sealing individual seams every year, I invested in a full roof coating design to move with the RV, reflect heat, and protect everything underneath as a single surface. Not a patch. Not a bead of sealant. A membrane-like layer that turned the roof into one unified shield. The difference was immediate, not just physically but mentally. For the first time, I wasn't waiting for cracks to appear. I wasn't climbing up there every few months with dread in my chest. Rain stopped being stressful. Heat stopped baking the interior like an oven. The roof stopped being a collection of weak points and started acting like what it should have been all along: protection. And no, it wasn't magic. It still required prep. It still required care. But the mindset changed completely. Instead of reactive maintenance, I shifted to proactive protection. Instead of fighting the sun every year, I blocked it. Instead of chasing leaks, I eliminated the conditions that caused them. One of the biggest surprises was how much cooler the RV stayed. I hadn't even realized how much heat the roof was absorbing until it wasn't anymore. The interior temperature stabilized. The AC didn't work as hard. Even the general feel inside changed. It felt quieter somehow. More solid, like the RV had aged backward instead of forward. Another unexpected change was how much time I got back. RV life already asks a lot from you. You're managing water, power, waste, weather, roads, repairs. Removing one major recurring stressor from that list is huge. No more scheduling reseal weekends. No more wondering if that crack is bad enough yet. No more emergency fixes before a trip. That mental space matters more than people realize now. I want to be clear about something. This wasn't about ignoring the roof. It wasn't about neglect. It was about choosing a better system. Vents still get inspected, seams still get checked, but instead of constantly applying more sealant, I'm maintaining a protective layer that's designed to last years, not months. And when maintenance does happen, it's simpler, cleaner, and far less stressful. If you're still in the resealing cycle, I know exactly what you might be thinking. That sounds expensive, or my roof isn't that bad yet, or I'll do it next year. I said all of those things too, but here's what changed my mind. Calculate what you're really paying. Sealant, tools, time, stress, potential water damage, resale value loss. Added up over 5 or 10 years. Suddenly, the cheap option doesn't look cheap at all. There's also something empowering about taking control instead of constantly reacting. RVs already get a reputation for being fragile. Like you're always one storm away from disaster. That doesn't have to be true. A lot of that anxiety comes from knowing certain systems are barely holding on. Strengthen those systems, and the whole experience changes. Since making this switch, I've driven through heavy rain without that knot in my stomach. I've parked in brutal sun, without worrying about the roof cooking itself to death. I've gone months without even thinking about resealing, which used to be impossible. The roof went from being a constant problem to something I trust. And trust is everything when your home is on wheels. What surprised me most was how many other RVers told me later I wish I'd done that sooner. Almost no one says I regret upgrading my roof protection, but plenty of people say I wish I hadn't waited until after the damage. Water doesn't care about your plans or budget. It only needs one opportunity, and resealing alone gives it way too many chances. If you're watching this, and you're tired of climbing ladders, tired of cracking sealant, tired of wondering if today's rain is the one that finally gets in, I want you to know there is another way. You don't have to accept endless resealing as normal. You don't have to live with that stress. One change can break the cycle completely. I quit resealing my RV roof, and instead I chose long-term protection over short-term fixes. That decision didn't just fix my roof, it fixed how I feel about RV living altogether. And if this helped you see your roof differently, make sure you're subscribed. Because I share real RV lessons like this, the kind you only learn after doing things the hard way first. Rain will come, sun will beat down, roads will shake everything loose. But your roof doesn't have to be the weak link anymore.